Hi, welcome to Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. Tell me somebody who's luckier than I am today. I get to talk to Katherine, Lyons, and Bronwen Evans about their books. This is fantastic. What a way to spend a cold, snowy, miserable kind of day. So, ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us. We have 4 books that released this week. Brenna's book, Brenna Ash has a book that came out that's Highland Treasures, and it's book 1 in a brand new series. So we'll catch up with her in the future, and I'll make sure I pop the link to the book in the comments so you can grab it. But the next book that released this week is Bronwen's book, and it's Lady Courtney's Second Chance. Catherine's pointing it out just in case the names weren't clear enough. And it's book 3 in the Season of Secrets. So I want to know what the Season of Secrets is, and I also want to know.
I just want to say, you two didn't put your titles in.
Oh.
I'm head of potions.
I'm going to pick something very presumptuous.
Here we go.
Bronwen, what kind of trouble does Lady Courtney get into?
Well, she doesn't get into trouble. Actually, it's quite a deep felt book, and it's having quite a bit of controversy, if you like, because it's about Lady Courtney lost her fiance 5 years ago. He went off to fight in the Irish Rebellion and never came home, and they never found his body. Blah blah blah. And it turns out he's alive, and he's got amnesia, and he's been living in Ireland. Because a woman did the "oh, you're my husband" and sort of thing.
Oh, I love the twist on the amnesia.
Yeah. So he's found in book 2 of the series, which is Lady Farah Creates Scandal, and they tell him the truth and they bring him home. His wife's died from TB or something like that, and so he comes back to save the family because the father's gambled everything away and they're in absolute ruin, and he's got to marry fast, and everyone's pushing him back at Courtney, who was his fiance. But of course he's come back a completely different person, different man. And Courtney's put in this position of, I really want to help the family because his sisters are her best friends. But can I marry someone who's so different from the man I originally knew? So it's about them building a relationship again. So they're starting all over again, and he's got his daughter as well in the mix. And it's a really nice story of people finding each other again after, and he never gets his memories back, and that's what's caused a bit of controversy, because a lot of the readers wanted him to get his memory back and remember her. But I had to stay true to who he was, and I think it's stronger because they've actually fallen in love again as different people, because she's grown as well. She's 5 years older, and she's been in mourning for most of that time, not looking at marrying and all of that kind of thing. So that's the story of Lady Courtney's second chance. Is does she actually take a second chance, because she has got someone else sitting in the wings who's sort of interested. And so it's that pressure of, but his family, I need to help his family, and because there's a bit of a stain on him, if you know what I mean, because he's come back and working as a labourer in Ireland with no money, and some of the polish is gone from him. So society's sort of looking at him as well, and sort of trying to judge him too. So it's really, really quite a good story.
There's so much lovely tension there. Like the idea of looking at somebody that you loved to begin with, and them not being the same person they were. Like there's so much.
And he feels a lot of guilt about that. He feels guilt that, his sisters look at him like, and he doesn't know them from a bar of soap, and they just want to hug him and kiss him, and he doesn't. These are all just strangers to him. So it's really hard for him with all these expectations, and everyone's trying to make him remember, and he just can't. So yeah.
Oh, the pressure must be awful, to want it so much and not be able to do anything to make it happen. That's just all the right kind of heartstring pulling.
Yeah. So she's Courtney's lucky because the Season of Secrets is about a group of women. In book 1, which is Lady Tiffany's, which I think is free until about the 30th or 31st, I think. she's a mathematical genius and she's an investment guru. And so she's created this little investment club with all the ladies so that they don't have to be reliant on anyone. And so Courtney's financially well off. So one of the ideas Courtney has is maybe the society can invest for Lucian and try and build his cash up that way. So there's all sorts of things going on with the society. But the season of secrets is because this group is a secret. They've actually challenged two of the top investment lords anonymously to an investment wager, and at the end of 12 months we find out who wins, whether the ladies win or whether the men win, and the men don't realize it's the ladies, and they're talking about what they're doing and investing in front of them all. And it's quite funny because Tiffany already knows she's well ahead because they've invested in that and she's invested in this, and it's quite fun.
Oh, and that's the only kind of gambling that they should be doing, because this father's losing the whole family fortune kind of thing. They just need to do better. That's just not how
it's just from grief, because Lucian was his only son. So it was sort of a grief reaction, a way of drowning his sorrows, if you like.
And there's one more book in the series to come out?
No, there's quite a few in the series.
Oh, yay.
Quite a big group of girls. And book 4, we still don't know who wins the investment wager. So that's coming, I think, in book 6, because I've got 2 more girls I want to do. And book 6 is the big one,
fantastic.
which is the girl who's madly in love with one of the investment men. And he's just not having a bar of being married or anything. So it's their story and how the investment wager comes out. So that's going to be a fun one to write. But the next one is Lady Ashley Never Behaves, and she's been ruined by a scandal, and no one really knows what the scandal is. None of the girls do. Society sort of does, and she ends up with the Duke who's also in the investment wager, because they get compromised, and he's a really stand-up, super pious, upright Duke, and he's suddenly landed with this girl who's the scandalous woman, and it's about how they come together.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the rest of the series sounds great, and this book sounds like so much fun.
I mean, a lot of fun writing it.
I think we can tell when we read them, like when the authors had a good time doing it. So, fantastic. Well, the next book that comes out this week is Katherine's book, and it's an alluring brew. Right. And as you can tell by her title, it's book 3 in My Lady's Potions series. Can you tell us about this one in the series too?
Well, this book I actually wrote a little bit ago. It came from the opening scene, and it wouldn't let me go. So our hero is waking up at Carlton House after a night of fun with Prinny. It's way too early. Well, not that early, but early if you go to bed at 5 a.m. Anyway, with a whole Chinese delegation with gongs and soldiers and this big mysterious palanquin, the litter with the curtains, and they're all tromping in at when everyone's got hangovers. And my hero says to his best friend, "Oh, Prinny's going to have a fit." So they all run to the audience chamber to watch Prinny have a fit at this unusual Chinese delegation. Prinny finally gets out of bed. He shows up and he's hungover, and he's like, "What do you want? This is not official. You're not supposed to be at Carlton House anyway. What do you want?" Well, they say they are here as a group from China to give him gifts. Well, Prinny's like, "Cool. I like gifts." Spices, great. Silks, love them. And a wife.
Oh, ha, ha.
So they open up the curtains and they bring out this Oriental princess, and they said, "Your wife." Prinny's like, "Excuse me, I am married." And they're like, "Yeah." So she'll get another wife. And he's like, "No, we don't do that." They say, "Well, if this gift does not meet with your respect, then our honor demands that she die."
Oh, really?
And Penny's like, "What now, on my marble floor?" So the soldiers, dramatically pull their swords, and they're about to skewer her when our hero doesn't want to see a woman skewered, he leaps in front. He's like, no, we don't need to do that. And Prinny says, oh, brilliant idea. And Raz is like, excuse me? It's like, well, you're not married. You can marry her. Honor is satisfied. Everything's great.
We have this extra wife laying around. We may as well make
exactly. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm supposed to marry this other woman. And Prinny's like, it's a royal decree. On Sunday, we'll post the banns. You'll be married in 3 weeks. Done. Thank you for the silk. Thank you for the incense and tobacco and whatever. And I'm going back to bed. And you take her and deal with her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now a royal decree that he and this strange woman are supposed to get married. And that was, for the longest time, that was my opening scene. And and it is the opening scene, but I didn't know where to go from there. But it was very much East meets West. Our hero is like, what do I do with this princess? And she doesn't want to be there anyway. And she's got plans. Her whole goal is to escape and live away from stupid Chinese men or English men.
I want to skewer her for nothing to do with herself. Yes.
Yep. And one problem for her is that her feet weren't bound as a child, so they break them and bind them so that she will. Yes, because she's, spoiler alert, she's not actually a Chinese princess. Oops. But anyway, she can't run until her feet heal.
Oh, good gracious.
Yes.
She's got to spend time with them.
So our hero, there's adventure because nothing is as it seems. And as we know, in official Chinese history, there was no delegation from China. And this actually fits into loose historical context. So there could have been a delegation from this group that was not official.
Plausible works for me.
There we go. But they needed a Chinese princess, and there she was.
I want to read it already.
Yeah, it's like a twist on the forced proximity kind of thing, but she can't get away.
She can't. Not for a couple weeks. I mean,
that's a really unusual but good ploy.
I love doing like different cultures pushing together. And I had an editor once tell me that she thought that's what all shifter books were. It's like, I'm bringing home my boyfriend who happens to be a werewolf.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm now forced to marry a Chinese princess.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That idea of like of different worlds just smashing together, whether it's furred and fanged or just simply culturally different.
And this is a big book. This is 100,000 words, a little bit over, in fact. So it's huge. It's old school. I started writing back in the ancient times where 110,000 words, which is like 450 pages. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we can settle in with this one and stay for a while. I love that.
Which is perfect for the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because we're snowbound here. Bronwen's got the whole run of the rest of her place.
We've got the summer, so we're just recovering from a cyclone again. So we're a bit wet, but it's been fine all this week, so that's good.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a blast, Katherine. And is this the last one in the series?
No, there's a Secret Elixir, which another big long book that comes out in. I'm looking at my calendar and I can't tell. I think it's May.
Okay, cool. And this series is connected through the men?
No.
Thematically connected.
It's thematically connected through the different potions. And I mean, I had intended to have a really important potion in this book. It didn't work that well. There are teas and potions, and there might be a royal visit to see if she can help the king, the Mad King. But it's not as like the true serum was clearly, you take this and you start hallucinating, and who knows what comes out of your mouth. And the love potion, which was the first of the series, could have been actual love potion, or it could have just worked out that way. It's hard to tell. So these, I mean, it is My Lady's potions, but the potions are just a device.
Awesome. So since you brought up that the scene came to you first, and we have a little bit of time left, I thought maybe you guys could talk about how you get your inspiration and what makes you move from a thought about a story to an actual 110,000 word book.
It grows like a fungus. It just starts and then it grows.
Not like a fungus. All I can think about are those ants that get the fungus and then it comes out of the.
No, okay.
No. Not like a fungus. It grows like a flower.
A flower or ivy. It just, and then you prune it into a lovely topiary. I guess you can't do a topiary with ivy. Can you?
You need a structure underneath it. It won't make its own structure. So you need a structure. Boxwood. You can make like a boxwood.
There we go.
Bronwen,
can you put your laptop on something stable?
Sorry, it's on my legs actually, so I keep wiggling because I'm sitting on my bed. It's not the best place, but I've got a house full of people from Canada, so my family's here, so it's
they never stay quiet.
Yeah. Characters come to me. I usually get one character who comes to me, and usually it's always a male, but this series for the Season of Secrets, it's female, so it's a female-centric series.
Cool.
And it's always, when you have someone who comes and talks to you, they've obviously got friends. So then you start building the community around them by talking to them about who their friends are and what they're doing. And that's how I come up with the groups of people that become the series. Who are these people's friends? What's their background, etc., etc. But it normally always starts with one character, one lead character. And then it develops from there into a series. And then I start looking at that character and saying, well, what's their personality? What's their background? What's their skill sets? What's their psychology? And then you start to put together, well, who would be the absolute worst person to pair that person with? And then the whole thing develops from there. And I usually develop the whole series first. So I do every single character that's going to be in the series.
Wow.
And I'll pair them up before I even start writing the series. And then I usually have a plot outline of the whole series.
Oh, wow.
And I'll plot down to each individual.
You're way more organized than I am.
I can't write if I'm not staring at a blank page. Unless I know what I'm going to write, I can't write. The characters just don't talk to me unless I know them. So I find that's what works for me the best is actually plotting everything out to begin with. So I always have the whole series, like I know how many books will be in a series. I know who they're all going to end up with, and then you can sort of feed that in gradually through every single book.
Yeah, that's wonderful when you have the ability to we
already know from book one that Valora is going to end up with Fane, who's the one that they really want to take down, because that's set up in book one and it's just fed trickling through the whole way. So I've already got, can't wait for Valora's book. It's those kind of things. So that's why I plot like that. Yeah.
Do your characters actually talk to you?
Yes. Yeah. I've got two little cavoodles. One's lying right next to me here on the bed. And I walk them every day. And when I walk, all the characters talk to me.
Oh, wow.
I get characters from books I'm not writing and books I've already written and a huge cacophony and family. I have tried and tried. I really have made the attempt to be organized and say, here is the series, here are the people, boom. And even when I make the effort and do that, it's like I've already written it then, and then I want to go off some other way. So that's the first way I would write it. Now, when I actually write it, I wander off into the weeds. And
lots of people are different, aren't they? Authors are so different. Lots of my friends are the same as Katherine. They can't stand writing a book that they already know what's going to happen. but I'm the opposite. I can't write it unless I know what's going to happen. So it's quite interesting how we all think.
Mhm.
I know I function better within a structure.
Mm.
If my house were neat, I would be happier. But I branch out. I will mess things up just because it's too organized.
Mm.
And I don't like that. It's like I made the effort to get organized and to plot out a series and all of that, and it just, I always wander off into the weeds. So this book, An Alluring Bird, honest to God, I had that first scene. I just wanted, this palanquin and this dramatic reveal of a Chinese princess, and Brittany's like, I can't take her. I just, and from there it was like, well, okay, now I got to do something with it. And so it just grew. And that's the thing, is when you're not organized, you have this wild woolly bush, and then the editorial process becomes painful. But
I found that in my second book that I was contracted for. I think I wrote 250,000 words for a 90,000 word book.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
And planned it, and it was just going everywhere. And that's when I realized, no, I need some structure, because it's so bad.
That's painful to have to cut that much.
Oh, yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah.
I do understand what you're saying, Katherine, though, about that. Like, you get to the 3/4 of the way part, and if you know where the story goes, it's like, well, I know where it goes, so I don't need, like, why would I sit and write it? It's like, there's something about the discovery part. Do you characters actually talk to you too?
Yeah. Well, so I am trying, because, there are mornings, especially when I'm trying to be funny. There's mornings when you get out of bed and you got your cup of coffee and it's like, be funny. And I can't swear on this, but I will say, I will not call myself the head of potions. I will call myself other things, and it's be funny. What is wrong with you? So I'm trying now with every scene to find something that's exciting for me. One little joke, one little, and I have also found that whatever I thought was going to be the cool thing that I got to write, at least half the time I wander off somewhere else, but I do get writing and I discover something else. I'm a dynamic explorer, is how one person described it.
I think you need a t-shirt that says Dynamic Explorer.
Dynamic explorer, as opposed to by the seat of my pants.
So do you have projects stacked up in your head?
Oh God, yes.
Then there's the shuffling to figure out what is the one you want to.
Yes, and in fact, these two books were going to be, this and A Secret Elixir, were going to be something else. But yes, in the process of writing, and then you contract for something to come in the future, and then you get to that future point and you go, what the heck was I thinking? So yes, I am so anxious to get back to my ghost stories. That's next. That is next, but I have to finish what I'm doing now first.
Yeah, I always have probably a couple of series going at the same time. At the moment I've got 3, which is this Season of Secrets. Then I've got another series called Wicked in Wales that I've just starting book 1 on, and that's going to be an interesting series. And then I've got a contemporary series that I'm doing as well.
How do you switch from series to series and keep your head in the...
Poorly. I do it badly.
Because I plot. I
Do
just move to the next plot. Yeah.
Do you have like cues that you give yourself? Like, do you have playlists that you listen to, or certain things?
Yes, I've actually just done a post on the Dragonblade about my playlist. But yeah, I do for the playlist for this last book. And so I'll have different playlists depending on what I'm writing, and also what scene I'm writing. If it's a really emotional scene, I'll have this kind of music. If it's quite a funny, quirky little scene, then I might have some, more sort of robust songs going. So yeah, it just depends what I'm writing. Yeah,
I think it's a wonderful way to like pull yourself back into the world that you're building.
I can't do music. My mom used to say, when you do the SATs to music, then you can have music. And so I'm used to silence. It was a Chinese household and you are quiet. And so study time was quiet. So writing time is quiet. What I have noticed is if I look at social media ahead of time or even the news, I get in this mental cycle of anger and outrage and just rage. And, you get, how can they do this? And so you feel superior and you're angry. And I cannot do that and then say, oh, I'm going to write a love scene.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Just block out the world at the moment when you want to try and sit down and write. We're in a family of music. Like, I've done all my music exams and everything, so music is a big part of my life. So I find it really easy to listen to, and I find it quite motivating. Yeah.
So you said about writing in quiet. Can you write in quiet, or do you need to have ambient noise? I find quiet being to be a little bit difficult.
I grew up with quiet. And in a house I have 4 sisters, so there are 5 kids, and as some of the time my grandmother was with us, so it's a household of 8, and we had quiet. And now I'm an empty nester. The kids are gone, and my husband, he's talking about retiring.
Oh no.
I mean, if he doesn't want to work, that is fine with me. If he wants to retire,
they don't have enough friends to keep them busy.
This is it. He needs to go to cafe or go work out or get really ripped. Go spend the mornings in the gym.
You just have to train them. I live with my twin sister, and her children have all grown up and left, and so we've moved in together. And when she first moved in, she didn't get the concept that I'm working. Oh, can you go and do this because you're home? Can you go and do that because you're home? And I just trained her, and now she understands fully that the day is work.
I get restless, and so I'll write, and then I'll get up and I'll stomp around the house and I'll kick the pillow, and the cat has been trained. The cat runs downstairs the minute she hears me stand up. She's got a cozy little nest downstairs. So I go stomping around as I figure things out, and I usually go get coffee and fattening things to eat, which is not helpful. But
But you can't have people talking to you in that time, because if they talk to you in that time, it messes up your thinking time, and you got to have the thinking time.
And, God love him. He has tried. When I'm working in the evenings, he will be silent, but he'll be standing in the hall looking at me. And it's like, what do you want? He's really trying. I love him to death. He is the perfect husband for me, but retire. I'm a terrible person.
You must have a hobby and friends first. You just need to have a hobby and friends first.
That's it.
Bronwen, it's so cool that you have a twin.
Yeah, so I've just got her into writing. Actually, she's writing her first paranormal romance, because she's such a romance reader, and
fantastic.
And I said, you need to start writing too, because you've got all these story ideas. So she's halfway through her first book, so I'm quite thrilled, actually. I haven't read any of it yet, so I'm just not letting me read it till it's finished. So
good for her.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you
I know a lot of people. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know a lot of people who started their careers later in life. That this is their second or their third career, and they just they finally get their imagination going and start writing. Good for her.
Yeah, so I'm quite thrilled, actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. Have you ever written about twins?
I did one. I think I've done one book long ago, because I remember going to there's a society in England about twins, but it doesn't go back as far as Regency. It sort of starts over. But I just wanted to talk to them about survival rates, etc. And of course, if you are in a wealthy family, the chances of twins surviving were slightly higher, but they had a terrible mortality rate for twins right up until about 1850. And even into 1900, if you were not in the wealthy families, most twins didn't survive. One of them didn't survive. So yeah, I think I've done one, or I think he was a twin and the twin had died at birth or something like that. I can't remember now, but I remember researching it. Yeah, just because I wanted to make sure it was, sort of authentic.
Yeah. Is it because they were born smaller?
Yeah, and just they didn't have enough food, and so they didn't have enough milk, and if it was all of that kind of thing, being able to feed two of them, if you didn't have enough to eat, you weren't producing enough milk, and so there was lots of reasons, and hygiene, and everything, very low twins were not very common at all up until the 1900s. Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It makes sense, something every time.
I want to write.
Now they're very common because of IVF. So, but I can remember being at school when there was only one other set of twins in the whole of the school when we were there. So you were always an oddity, or sort of, oh, you're one of the twins. That would be, still today when I meet people from school, at reunions, oh, you were one of the twins. Whereas now there's lots of twins.
That's crazy. I always thought twins were kind of exotic, like the idea of having somebody else that you shared everything with,
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, ladies, it was delightful to talk to you today. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your books. I'm so excited about both series. I'll make sure I pop the links to the books in the comments so you can grab them if you haven't gotten them already. Dragonblade books are the best deal on pre-order and release. And now you want to grab them the second you see that on pre-order. And you've got like a 2-week window to get it when it's at its very best price. But if you happen to miss the window, you can always read in Kindle Unlimited, which is my favorite way to read right now. Because I can just...
Thank you for having me. I've got a little dog barking here because it's 9:30 in the morning here in New Zealand, and that's treat time. So
get him a treat. Get him a treat. Thanks so much, ladies, for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Katherine.